When you're going on this journey of truly coming into self-realization as to who you are, you're mindful about this spiritual journey, you're being as conscious as possible. There are a couple of things you want to be mindful about. And it's important that you recognize that in order for you to achieve manifestation, to remaster manifestation, materialization, coming to really establishing self-fulfillment, happiness, joy, and achieve all the goals you want in life, there's certain things you have to be mindful about and look out for. And one of those things is our ability to hold on to certain kinds of pain, trauma, and experiences. Remember, manifestation is life. Life is movement. As long as you are continuing to move, then you are continuing to live life and thus continuing the journey of manifestation and creating whatever it is that you need to create to express that self-fulfillment, right? To come into that self-realization. But you have to be mindful of the things that are going to weigh you down or keep you from moving at all. This is when we get into the conversation of forgiveness. Forgiveness is one of those things that many of us have a hard time with. And if you're somebody who has, an issue with another individual, you have an issue letting go and forgiving yourself, especially, this is something that you really need to listen to and take heed to, okay? Because it is this holding on that is going to prevent you from being your true self. And my mission is for you to take this journey of self-realization and coming to who you really are, not who you think you are. Now, as we go through life, sometimes life can be messy, especially in the beginning phases of life where we are not really in control, so to speak, because we're children, we're being raised by other adults who may have issues themselves, who are not perfect, in environments that we can't curate and change, right? So we have to just sit with it. Even in that stage, we're not even aware that the environment or the people that we're surrounded by are not serving our greater good, are not serving us when it comes to tapping into our truth and our full potential. So as you become an adult, that gives you the true opportunity to take ownership of your life and look back on the things that you experienced, look back on those experiences, especially the ones that we remember most, usually the most happiest moments and memories, and the most traumatic and horrific memories, okay? And it is those horrific memories that we often hold on to, and we hold on to them with a lot of anger, frustration, and even hate. And it is those emotions that are the most lowest vibration of emotions. And we know that emotions are the fuel toward your materialization of the things that you desire, right? They're going to propel you and inspire you and motivate you. You think about the word motivate is really movement. And it is with the proper emotions are you likely to create that movement toward a particular thing. But if you are in a low vibration state with your emotions and you're holding on to negativity, you're holding on to a bad experience, it is going to weigh you down. It is in fact going to not only weigh you down, but it is going to be toxic for you. You see, and this is the thing that I want you to capture and understand, is that when you hold on and you don't forgive, you are in fact holding those emotional toxins within you. And it is not allowing you to truly experience happiness and joy because you're being weighed down by the heaviness of the pain, right? The suffering. And even though the individual that might have done you wrong intentionally did you wrong and you acknowledge that they were wrong for doing what they did, it is not your job to hold on to it. Because as you hold on to that pain and suffering and not let it go, they are still continuing to have control over you. That person who did you wrong or did something horrific to you, is still manipulating and still having power over you to this very day. And they are winning over you, so to speak. So you have to be mindful about letting go, because when you let go, when you forgive, then you begin to win. Then you take ownership of your life. Then you begin to take power back to actually begin the true process of living your life. You see, we think holding on to the trauma, holding on to the pain, holding on to the memory in detail and identifying with it is the thing that is going to be empowering for us, right? Because we want to hold ourselves as righteous and we want to judge the other person for what they did. And though that person should be judged, especially if the action was very, very horrific and horrible, it isn't your job to hold on to it emotionally in a way that allows you or prevents you from moving forward in your life. You see, because moving forward in your life is the goal. It is the mission. It is the objective. So as you think about whatever it is, you have to put it in a place, put it in a category of recognizing that it did happen, but mostly recognizing the objective, the possible purpose behind it happening in alignment with you actually creating and living out your purpose. Because when you make those connections and when you categorize it in a particular way, then that thing that you were holding on to with the negative energy, the negative emotions, the negative vibration, the low frequency, which was holding you down, then that thing becomes something that is more productive. It is something now that can help propel you forward, because though you recognize that it was a bad thing, a bad situation, something that shouldn't happen, but now you can put it in its proper place, recognize that these are the things and lessons that I learned from that in a productive and compassionate space. Not compassionate for the person, but compassionate for you. This is the thing. You have to understand that forgiveness is not about letting go and forgiving the person for what they did. Forgiveness is about letting go and freeing yourself from the pain, the suffering of what they did. It's about acknowledging self-love, recognizing that you don't deserve to be in pain. In fact, it is more so saying that you don't want to be in pain. You don't claim that for yourself. You have to really put these things in perspective. You have to be mindful about this process of life. Think about the things that are holding you back. Think about the things that are moving you forward. You see, because they are basically on the same path, right? You think about forgiveness, you think about any kind of pain that you're going through. If you're not willing to let it go, it is going to weigh you down. There's going to be a weight on your back that is going to continue to hold you back, right? And though you are moving forward in life because you are inspired and you're using consciousness, right, to be led by this consciousness, by this light in this dark tunnel, if you're not letting go of that weight behind you, it's just going to take a little bit longer and it's going to be more uncomfortable, more painful. Eventually, you're going to have to face it and you're going to have to let go of that weight behind you. So let's do it now, because when you do it now, what that means is the journey becomes way more pleasurable. The journey becomes something that allows you to be way more present into the experience of your self-realization, your unraveling, your unfoldment, right? Tapping into that true self. So you want to address those things as soon as possible, because a lot of times what happens is you can still move forward on the path while holding on to that weight. But as you reach certain levels of success, you may identify with this success and wonder why you're still not happy or fulfilled, why you're still not feeling free. You see, and then that may even create multitude of layers of, unhappiness, doubt, fear, anxiety, because things are just not making sense. And the reason for that is because you haven't let go of the past. You're still holding on to it. Even though you are what appears to be moving forward, that past is still attached to you because you haven't forgiven it. You haven't forgiven yourself. You haven't let go of that toxicity. You haven't detoxed emotionally, spiritually from the past. That is something you must do in order for you to move forward. The past can be valuable, don't get me wrong, but it has to be put into its proper place. And when it's put in its proper place and you can use it toward really aligning yourself more with your purpose and being in the moment as to the, self-realization of self, then you can actually feel free, feel light, okay, and move forward in achieving all of your goals, but also it being accompanied by fulfillment, happiness, and joy. So remember, it isn't about forgiving the person. Forgiveness is about forgiving yourself and letting go of the suffering, letting go of the identification of the pain, of the hurt, of the story that you created because of the thing that has happened. Change the story. Once you change the story, you change your life. Thank you so much. Feel free to go to drabundant.com, subscribe to my daily newsletter, and get access to this free ebook, The Power Within. You'll also be invited to my Manifestation Monday morning meetings every Monday morning at 7 a.m. I look forward to seeing you there. Continue to join me on this journey. Peace and abundance always.